This is Raj. Today we are going to discuss about ADF Hierarchy Viewer Component using a custom Java component. Let's get started. To get started, I already created two Java classes. If you look at it, I have TreeItem. So this is basically a simple Java class defined total four private variables, 3 of type string and one a list of tree items. I called it as children. Now I have a constructor with these 3 parameter passed, and then I'm just setting the property of these variable in this class. So this is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. So let me go ahead and right click, generate accesses. I'm just going to create a bunch of getters and setters for the variables that's defined in this class. And once it's done, the TreeItem class is done. Let's go to the HRTreeData. This is where the dummy data is getting populated. So I have 3 variables. One is instance, and second is model, and the third one is root. So as you see, these are the data types that's defined here. And the constructor, that's where I'm creating the top level node and then adding it to the root, and then creating a node 1 children here, and then creating the child items for node 1 children, and then adding those node 1 children to its node, and then finally adding the node 1 children object to node 1. That is that's our root, and then set instance of root. So we are defining all the dummy data as root here. So if you look at what is there in the set instance, all we are doing here is we are just setting that this dot instance equal to instance. So this get model is what is being used by the hierarchical component. When the hierarchy viewer component have the data source set to model, so it will look for that. If the model is null, it's going to say it's going to have new child property tree model of instance children. So the instance is where we have populated our dummy data, right? And this will display the data for us. So this is pretty straightforward. So let me leave it as is for now. Let's go to the viewer. Let's go to the view component here. In the view, right now if you double click on the adfc-config, there is nothing here. Let's go to the diagram. Let's drag and drop a view here. Let's call as HViewer. Okay, that is good enough. I'll just double click on it, and that's going to create a view. I'm going to go with the page template, which has Oracle logo in it, and that looks pretty, so that you can, if you want, you can change with any logo out there. Let me go ahead and create it. Okay, now the view is created. Let's get started. All we have to do here is let's go to the ADF Data Visualization component, and then let's go to Hierarchical Viewer, and then drag and drop the Hierarchical Viewer component here. So let's take the vertical down and say OK. So that creates the Hierarchical Viewer component source code. What we're going to do here is a very basic one. So I'm just going to remove a lot of things. I'm just giving, you can add more to the tree items, and then you can populate the hierarchical viewer component as a enhancement. So for now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove the panel card and all this stuff, just so that let's make it simple here. And then let's remove the spacer. Okay, so I have a basic viewer component, hierarchical viewer component here. Let's go to the properties window, and let's see what is summary should be present. Let's give a summary view here. And then let's go to the components here. Before that, let's quickly do one more thing. Now that we added the HRTreeData, we have to add this to the configuration file. If you look at the ADFC configuration, we have added the view. We have to include that as a managed bin. Whatever we added as a HRTreeData, we have to add it here so that it is accessible from the view component. Let's go ahead and add it. Let me call it as HRData. Maybe HViewer data. Let me call that so that it's more appropriate. And then let me call it as model data.HRTreeData, and I'll just leave it as request scope. So let me save it. Let's come back here to the viewer component. Let's go to the viewer here. The property says layout is hierarchy viewer top. That's good. Descendant level is, open up to 2 levels. Just keep it open. Value is, let's go to the expression window. Managed bean is where we added the HViewer data, and then let's select the model here. Okay, that's the data that holds the dummy data for us, and we have to give a value for the node. So let's call it as node, and then the control panel behavior by default is collapsed. Let me make it as expanded by default. I've already added the summary component. Descendant level 2, access level, node level 2. Rest of the thing I'll just leave it as is for now. So all we have to do now here is we have a node. We have the value here, and set the variable to be node. And let's see what here is. What we're trying to do here is here in the image window. See if you look at the HRTreeData, I have green for level 2 and red for level 1. So what I did is I just created two dummy images and then placed under images under view. Under view, I just created the images folder and then placed these 2 images here. So all I have to do here is I have to say node dot the image name. So if you look at the TreeItem, the third parameter is image name. So let me go here and let's call it as node dot image name. And then there are 3 output text here. I got only 2 here, 2 to display, so I just removed one of them. And then image node.image name, not node.action, node.text, not image name.text. So that should fix it. Font size, make it 12, and that should take care of it. Let's go back and save. Just refresh. That's it. You can make any changes here, as long as you can change the image. You can play around with the text. You can add more dummy data to the custom HRTreeData, and then you can play around with it. I'll upload the video as well as the code. Let me know for any questions. I'll try my best to answer your question. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.